Mike Fennell of BBC Radio Humberside reports.
The four men looked none the worse for their ordeal when they stepped out of the helicopter outside Grimsby General Hospital. They said they were fine before they were whisked away for examination. Earlier, skipper Vigo Di Galladoro had put out a mayday call when their trawler began shipping water in its engine room. A Danish cargo ship responded and saw the Pescoso 2's crew take to a life raft. 5 minutes later, she sank. The Danes and a crew of a gas rig supply vessel tried for 2 hours to take the fishermen on board, but in force-8 gales, the heavy seas made it impossible. An RAF helicopter from Leconfield, north of Hull, arrived and winched the men to safety before flying them to Grimsby.
It's now 8 o'clock, and with the morning's news, Phil Johnson.
Good morning. The headlines. The crew of the sunken Lowerstoft Trawler have been telling of their ordeal. Relief workers are warning of cholera epidemics in Ethiopia. A can of lethal chemical has been washed ashore locally. An American military transport plane has crashed into the sea, and we in Britain are spending less on food and clothes. The four-man crew of a Lowerstoft trawler, which sank in the North Sea yesterday, are now safely back at home, recovering from their ordeal. The boat, the 80-foot Pescoso 2, ran into trouble 100 miles off the Yorkshire coast, and the crew were eventually airlifted to safety. Steve Hardy reports.
The boat was halfway through a 9-day trip fishing for cod and plaice when the drama began. 17-year-old deckhand David Vincent spotted water in the engine room and raised the alarm. The skipper, Vigo Di Galladoro, ordered them into a life raft and radioed a nearby car ferry for help. The ferry came alongside the tiny life raft but couldn't take them on board due to the heavy seas. A rescue helicopter from Leconfield in Yorkshire raced to the scene and wished the men aboard. After a check-up in a Grimsby hospital, they were brought home last night. But when I spoke to David at his home in Skinner's Lane, Wroxham, he seemed unruffled by the whole thing.
Just pretty calm, really, all the time. None of us panicked or nothing. Just took it all in the stride, really.
And you can hear more on that story and an interview with the skipper after this news bulletin.
The 18-year-old who raised the alarm was David Vincent from Skinner's Lane in Wroxham.
Just finishing the washing up from breakfast, and Victor, the skipper, said just go down in the engine room, knock the generator off, open up the engine room hatch, and just see, water down there.
Was there a lot of water? How much was in there?
It was 2-3 foot this time. So I went up the wheelhouse, called the skipper down, and he had a look. And he just said, "We'll call the others out quick and get the life jackets."
So what happened then? I mean, the skipper came down with you to see what was going on. Well, what happened after that?
Well, the water just poured in the engine room, more or less, filled right up. But this time we had the life jackets on and that, and got the life raft in the water, and just got in the life raft.
What happened then? Did you? I believe just before you got in the life raft, you saw a big boat nearby. Was it one of the ferries?
Yeah, the car ferry registered in Esberg.
And you called him up, did you?
Yeah, he was called up, and he was within half a mile of us.
So he was in half a mile of you when you took the life raft. Did he then come alongside you and try to take you off?
Well, not right alongside. We all got in the life rafts. And he tried to lay downwind of us, so we drifted down to him. But really, he had difficulty to manoeuvre to try and pick us up anyway, because of his size compared with us.
There was also another vessel around, wasn't there?
Well, I think the car ferry called up one of the rig supply boats, as well as radioing through to the RAF and whatnot. And there's a supply boat come more or less alongside us. A helicopter appeared as well, and Nimrod. The winchman come down onto the life raft, and he went up one by one.
Now, also while you're in the life raft, waiting to be rescued, I believe the boat went down, didn't it?
Yeah, about 5 minutes after being in the life raft, the boat just turned over and went down stern first.
What was it like seeing it go down?
Terrible, really.
Now, you all seem pretty calm about it now, sort of talking about it later. What did you think at the time? Can you remember what your feelings were?
Not really, just pretty calm, really, all the time. None of us panicked or nothing. Just took it all in the stride, really.
David Vincent from Wroxham talking there to Steve Hardy.